What up, everybody? It's your boy Agent, and we're back here once again. I know it's been a couple weeks. I know Michigan football. I know it is the dead heart of winter right now. It is the first few days of February. Slow motion. I know Kyle Whittingham news, the roster, things seems like things have quieted down. But I want to break down Michigan's schedule for this upcoming season. I know it's really way too early to break this, and a lot of things can happen with injuries, and guys can still enter the portal and move around and all these other things. But I want to talk about this schedule way too early. But before we get to that, I want to hit a couple news and notes that I've mentioned over the last couple weeks. Last time I talked since the Kyle Whittingham talked a few weeks ago. But with that being said, huge news, and it was a big issue I want to bring up. Now, during this offseason, it's been talked about with the development of Bryce Underwood and how he's come back, and that was the biggest domino for Michigan to fall. But the biggest news and the biggest story coming out of that whole situation was the fact that Bryce did not have a dedicated or go-to quarterback coach on the staff that he was working with during the week or during the season. Now, that, like most people know, that is very unusual, and that could have led to some of the inconsistencies and some of the terrible decision making that Bryce had, and just not the full development that Michigan needs to get out of him. And like I talked about, we spent all this money on Bryce. There's no more player coming out in 2025, but you can't do that to a young quarterback, especially a true freshman starting right out of high school. One of the few guys that get a chance to do that. You're speeding up his clock. He needs development. He needs constant coaching and to fix up these mistakes. And like we talked about some of them games last year where he was not setting his feet, just throwing the ball across the field, just not taking the easy check down, fumbling the football, just easy little things. And those things need to be cleaned up. And now, like I said, with the hire of Coy Detmer as the quarterback coach, that is huge. He is going to be one of the most important men in this offseason to get Bryce his fundamentals stuff down and tech. He has his own quarterback coach, but just working with the staff every day of the week, every week getting better. And I expect him to take a huge improvement, a huge leap for this 26 season, especially with the way this schedule looking. But what I just seen today, Bryce has been working with renowned quarterback coach Jordan Palmer. Yes, it's Carson Palmer's brother. He's worked with a lot of guys, so that is a great sign. But like I said, Bryce will have a quarterback coach to work with on the staff this season, and you're going to be able to see the difference. Also, spring practice, I believe, starts March 17th. Spring games, April 18th. So that's another note. And then before we move on to the schedule, the captains for the spring have been announced. Trey Williams, number 95, defensive tackle. Rob Moore, who's returning, got his another year eligibility, will be back. Jordan Marshall, the running back, and Bryce Underwood, the quarterback. And then Michigan also had a spring for 2026 leadership council, and it goes something like this: Rod Moore, Zeke Berry, Cameron Brandt, Trey Pierce, Blake Frazier, Andrew Marsh, and No Etta, Bryce Underwood, Jordan Marshall, Zach Marshall, Jake Laniria, Jair Hill, Nico Andrielli, Mason Curtis, and Andrew Sprague. And then one last piece. Andrew Marsh is officially, he posted on Instagram that he will be returning for Team 147. That was a huge news. We pretty much knew it was coming, but he made it official, so that is a huge sign for Bryce to get them a weapon. Now, let's come what we really came here for. Now, the schedule for Michigan has dropped, and let me tell you guys, this is a really tough schedule. 9 wins could maybe get you in the playoff. They win 10 games out of this schedule, they are definitely getting in the college football playoff. But remember, this is the way too early schedule release. So let's go through this schedule real quick. I'll go through it real fast, and I'll give you my thoughts. First game, September 5th at home. Host Western Michigan. September 12th, a rematch at home. Get Oklahoma at home. They'll have John Mateer and company back. Then host a UTEP team who's not good. September 19th. Then Big Ten play kicks off, and here we go. Bring Iowa in. September 26th, they come in. They'll be good. Defense is always good, as we know. Then you go on the road, first road game of the season. Go to Minnesota. You know, they're always an average out team, but they do have a good quarterback. I think who's can be elite. And Drake Lindsey, PJ Fleck, sign, whatever you want to call it, coach. Then you bring in after a bye week in Penn State, I believe, will be coming. This will be the 7th or 8th straight game at that point in time. October 17th, you will host Penn State. As we know, Matt Campbell has taken over from Iowa State guys, brought a lot of his guys over to have experienced quarterback in Rocco Beck. So Michigan will have to come to play, because I think this will be a much improved Penn State team. Now, then, the defending national champions come to town October 24th, Indiana Hoosiers. That's going to be a tough one. Followed by Halloween falls on Saturday this year, baby. They go to Rutgers in the famous Rutgers game. That game gets a little weird, but I think Michigan should be able to take care of Rutgers. Then you got the rivalry game, November 7th. Michigan State comes to town with the first-year coach and Pat Fitzgerald. I believe they'll be a lot better of a team. Michigan will be ready for that game. Then, this month of November, it continues. Road game at Oregon, followed by hosting UCLA. Then you finish it out at the Shoe against Ohio State. So November doesn't do us any favors, man. Michigan has really four huge tough games, and I'm gonna go rank them in order what I think they are. At Oregon, because I think Oregon on paper will possibly be the number 1 or number 2 team in the country coming into the season. Then at Ohio State, versus Indiana, and then versus Oklahoma. So these are 4 huge games. Michigan is, no question about it, gonna have to split these 2, because then I think the rest of these games gonna have to find a way to win. But you're gonna have to split those 4 games to get to 10-2. You can, like I said, you could probably get 9-3, and maybe because with the power of the Big Ten, but with this schedule, it's a monster, man. It is a monster. So we'll be able to see what Kyle Whittingham and company do. So really 2 true road games, and then those 2 tough home games, versus Oklahoma and versus Indiana. So there's gonna be no time to complain or so cry. So Michigan can get through the schedule. They can make the college football playoff, and this schedule is a lot more daunting than it was last year. But the big thing is they'll have more experience, especially up front in the offensive line. They have a little more depth, I believe, there as well. We brought a lot of guys back from the portal that we were able to retain with this rush, like we talked about. Got to stay healthy at the running back position, because that's what killed Michigan last year. And I believe huge caveat and everything is Bryce Underwood taking this huge development, and then Andrew Marsh being back, and then also with the addition of Jamie French and J.J. Buchanan, get them some weapons, have Zach Marshall back. Offensive line will be much improved. We still have Channing Goodwin, Jacob Washington, Jamar Browder, 2 younger guys. So I believe, let's see if they can come on 2 bigger receivers. So I'm very optimistic about what they can do. I think they can get the 9-3 again and possibly 10-2. And it's way too early. I believe Michigan will be ranked in the top 15 to start the season. I know it's way too early. We're going to see a lot more when spring practice comes, but I wanted to give you guys my initial thoughts because the Big Ten did release these full schedules. And it's, like I said, it's a freaking gauntlet, man. It's a gauntlet, but got to get through it. Kyle Whittingham is the guy to do it, mature, get these guys together. They're already working. It's February 3rd, so we don't have that much. We have about a month and a half to spring practice, so we'll see what happens. But I want to give you guys my thoughts, and you tell me what you think, the news and notes, and what's going on with this Michigan program. So it's on the up and up. We'll see what happens, but I appreciate all the love and support. Don't forget to like, love, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter. That's at Keeping Score. And I also just made a TikTok too. I will put my username in my bio, but follow me on TikTok at SportsNerd0, all one. So I appreciate all love, support. Like, love, subscribe, tell a friend. It's your boy Adrian, and I'm out. Peace.